Hello everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, where I predict confusion will be many people's epitaph. And my video today is a complete ripoff, okay? Complete ripoff. Mike at Hubtunes did a video that, made shout-outs. It was a kind of a quasi-Valentine Day video making shout-outs, to other people in the VC for their recommendations or for them turning him on to other, to records that, he was unaware of, new records, new music, etc. And I thought it was a great idea. I liked the idea. He did his on Valentine's Day, and that was yesterday. So this is just a shout out for great recommendations that I've received from people in the VC. And there are many, but I picked quite a few. There are many others, the records that I have picked up strictly because I heard about them on someone's channel, and but these are some that have really made a significant impact, and I want to shout out to them. And I'm going to start off with each of the vinyl community gunkles, and first one being with Robert Fithen. He suggested this record for us to review on the Gunkles channel, and that is this here, this Tangerine Dream by the band Kaleidoscope. Really fantastic 60s psychedelic pop, and a rare record if you want to get an original. But then they came out with a couple reissues. I got the less expensive reissue that was on this orange tangerine colored splatter vinyl, and which still, cost roughly 3 times as much as your standard new release now. And there was another more comprehensive release that cost even more. But you were still getting a record that was less expensive than an OG, that's for sure. But yeah, great recommendation. We reviewed it on the Gunkles. So yeah, really excellent recommendation. Another Gunkle, that was another record that was recommended by one of the Gunkles for the rest of us to review, because that's what we do periodically, is we review albums that each of us suggest. And this was one that was recommended by Craig's Vinyl Plethora, and this is the Bobby Lees and the release Bellevue. So great, mostly girl band punk, and I really liked this record when we reviewed this. In fact, I think it was the same year at Riot Fest here in Chicago. The Bobby Lees was one of the early performers at one of the backstages, and I got there just in time to catch the end of their show. But really great stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy that Craig got us to listen to this, because I really enjoyed it. And in fact, this particular copy was one that was gifted to me from Mike at Hubtunes, another one of the Gunkles. All right, and speaking of Mike at Hubtunes, another record that we reviewed that he recommended. And this is a band that, I had heard about, but they were like really synth pop, and, it was kind of okay, but it wasn't really a band that I felt driven to explore their music. But he recommended this one by Talk, the Laughing Stock. What a great recommendation. I love this record. I love the textured sounds. Just everything about it. I really, really love this record, and so glad that he recommended this for us to review. And there's, in fact, quite a few records on Mike's channel that he has talked about that I'm still on the hunt for, and I would like to get. But yeah, really want to say thanks for having us listen to this record. Now, Shaggy at the Opinionated Hippie was talking about this record, and we reviewed it on the Gunkles. It was one of my suggestions. And this is Dame Area. They're from Barcelona, and this is Toda la Verdad sobre Dame Area. And this is industrial, really intense. It's got an industrial edge, kind of punk, kind of just, you know, really out there. And he was talking up this record so much that I went to Bandcamp and checked it out, you know, and started listening to it. And after listening to the first track, I bought it without listening to the rest of the album. And I managed to get one of the, they had 100 of these special editions, limited numbered editions, and I managed to get number 93 before they sold out. But yeah, so it was really, you know, just, he was talking about it so much, raving about it, and it just really got my interest. And like I say, I listened to one song and I was sold, and ended up getting this record. They do have a regular release of this particular one, and they've been around a while, although they have not necessarily gathered that big of an audience here in North America. They have perhaps a slightly larger audience in Europe. But yeah, so I watch the Opinionated Hippie frequently. He's very knowledgeable about Frank Zappa, but I love the way he has recently been going through entire catalogs and of different musical artists, talking about the one, you know, the ones that he likes. I mean, everyone from the Decemberists to the Moody Blues, you know, really enjoyable channel to watch. So yeah, Shaggy at the Opinionated Hippie. Another recommendation, this was from a while ago, and this came from Stunty at Stunt Rock Confusion. And I'd been watching, I mean, I knew him from other live streams and had been watching his live streams. And he's turned me on to a lot of music that I was unfamiliar with. I mean, one of my top 5 favorite musical acts of all time is one that I learned about from Stunty, that being Coil. But he also, you know, talks a lot about deep house and acid house and Detroit house. And that was music that I didn't have a lot in my collection. And he made this recommendation to me as something to get. And in fact, I saw it because it was a fairly new release. And that is this Terrence Dixon, Reporting from Detroit. So this is Detroit House, and this is a newer release. This is from, what is this from, 2023 maybe, or 2021. It's from 2021. And just really, really, really good tracks on here. And that really did help me start to dive more into, you know, EDM and house music and you know, other electronic music, which I really enjoyed going to the clubs, you know, in the 90s. But I have a bunch of like CD mixes of a lot of different music from that era, but you know, never really picked up anything on vinyl because it's just, it's like this huge genre, and you know, you don't always have an opportunity to listen to some of it before buying it because it can be fairly obscure. But yeah, this was a great recommendation from Stunty, and I continue to get ideas for other music from watching his stream. So that's Stunty at Stuntrock Confusion. I've been watching Steve Carlson for a while, and not necessarily as long as other people have been watching him, but one of the most significant recommendations, I mean, he wasn't actually making this recommendation to me, but one of the records that he showed that made a really significant impact on me, and it fell over here, so I bent down to get it, was Mdou Moctar. And, you know, he showed, I think it was Ilana the Great, or Ilana the name is escaping me. It's Ilana, let me see here. Okay, Mdou Moctar. And it's Ilana the Creator. That's what it is, Ilana the Creator. But this is the brand new one, Funeral for Justice. And seriously, when I first listened to Ilana the Creator, after hearing Steve Carlson talk about it, I mean, it was just amazing. It really was. And it remains an amazing recording. He's an amazing guitar player. He is, in my opinion, the greatest living guitar player. I mean, you know, you think of, Hendrix and Prince and Stevie Ray Vaughan and Zappa and Van Halen and Peter Green, they're all dead, okay? I don't even consider them in a list. You know, I'm just talking about living guitarists. And he is, to me, the greatest living guitarist. In fact, I'm going to go see him tonight up in Evanston because he's doing an acoustic show of this album. This is, you know, an electric performance on an electric guitar. He's just amazing what he does with the electric guitar. But I've seen him do an acoustic set before, the first time I saw him live, and that is amazing. And I have another record of his that is mostly acoustic. I mean, it still has some electric guitar kind of in there as like background and support. But yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. So I'm really, really excited about going to see this show tonight. Actually, there are two shows and I'm going to both of them. So, but yeah, Mdou Moctar. If you've not heard of some of these guitarists from Northwest Africa, like Bufar Kature or Ali Farkature, or Tangerine, you know, you really should check these out. It's Saharan blues, and it's just absolutely amazing. Amazing music. All right, now, Michael on Poetry on Plastic is going to get credit for this. This record has been in my want list for so long. I can't even remember who in the VC actually was talking about it and got me interested in it. But I'm pretty sure it was Michael at Poetry on Plastic. And it's been on my want list for years, and then, you know, one day I walk into this store in Sturgeon Bay. I think it was in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin. No, it was not. It was a store here in Chicago. Yeah, no, I can't remember which one it was. But anyway, I saw it. Piglet, Lavaland, Chicago band. And this is the only EP they released. I don't think they released any full-length albums, just this EP. And this is a reissue, which I think I got a great deal on for $50. This is a rare record, and it's in really, really excellent shape. This band, you know, to some say they're the godfathers of math rock. So it's what has become math rock, but you know, it's a post-punk style of music that's instantly recognizable, in my opinion, as being a distinct subgenre. And this is such a fantastic album. And it's too bad that they didn't do anything else. But yeah, and I'm gonna credit Michael at Poetry on Plastic as the one who made me aware of this. And it took me years before I found one, and I finally did. I mean, it was you could get it, you know, in the Discogs marketplace, but it was, you know, going for more than $100. So that's why I say, yeah, I think I got a great deal with this, getting it for $50. So Piglet from Lavaland from Michael at Poetry on Plastic. Now, the Gunkles, we did a live stream one time, and we asked people in, you know, who were in the watching in the audience to make recommendations for each one of us, each of the four of us. And BiBi of BiBi Amsterdam, that's the channel, her recommendation for me was this, Echo and the Bunnymen. And I knew about Echo and the Bunnymen, but I just really, I guess, you know, I just lumped them into just this standard synth pop, new wave kind of thing. But she recommended this for me to listen to, and I did, and wow, this is their debut, Crocodiles. And this is really, really groundbreaking in many ways. It's this really excellent album. I'm so happy that she, you know, urged me to listen to this, and I did. We got a lot of recommendations from different people, and but I think this is the only one that I have been able to obtain. Regarding the other recommendations, I don't have a copy yet, because either it's not because it's that rare. Well, one of them is. Even though it's a U.S. band, the only place I've ever seen it in at least the Discogs marketplace has been a Japanese seller. So there's that shipping to come from Japan. Yeah, this is, or the other reason is they're too expensive for what they are. But yeah, so BiBi of BiBi Amsterdam, excellent recommendation. She also recommended Herman Brood, and I picked up a Herman Brood album as well. That's also good stuff. He's from Amsterdam. Okay. Then we have Frederic at Spectrum Archives. And there's a lot of music that he and I both listen to, particularly in the electronic dance music, techno, and music such as that. He has a very broad, eclectic taste, and there's a lot of music that he talks about that I also, you know, am aware of and have been picking up. But there was one in particular that he mentioned during one of his videos that really piqued my interest, and I did find a copy of it, and that's this. This is by Fortet, and it's the album 3, just Fortet 3. Really nice, deep house, down tempo. You know, so yeah, that's, if you haven't been watching Frederic at Spectrum Archives, he lives in Belgium, And he, you know, it's a different market over there, so there's a lot of music that is easily accessible to him that isn't so accessible here. So it's really quite exciting, you know, when I see records that are shown by people in continental Europe who you know, are raving about a particular album, and I listen to it online and I'm like, yeah, I really would like to get that, but it's not always easy to necessarily to obtain here. So yeah, Frederic at Spectrum Archives, and this is the album the musical project is Fortet, and the album is 3. All right. Now, Jason Skilz, at Low Noise Jason Skilz, up in Canada, he used to join the live streams that I did when I was doing them. And he's a DJ, and he also talks about a lot of different music. Some of the music that he's into, like grindcore and things like that, it's not my taste. But he has made some, not necessarily made recommendations. He's shown albums that have really intrigued me. And this one here, he showed it in one of his videos. And lo and behold, it was like the next week I saw it in the store. And that is this Blacklips Bar. Fantastic album. It says it's industrial romance for bruised and battered angels. So these are tracks from 1992 to 1995 that have, you know, they're a punk edge to them, but there's also some avant-garde tracks in here. There's some spoken performances by drag queens from, you know, in different New York bars. So yeah, it's just a fantastic album. So yeah, thanks to Jason Skilz there at Low Noise Jason Skilz for making me aware of this, and then via serendipity there it was in the store, so I was able to pick it up. So if you like to venture off into the avant-garde and some extremes in terms of post-punk and an extreme cabaret style of music, if you see this, check it out. It's worth listening to, and I think it's definitely worth acquiring. And then the final one here is by Derek Higgins, whose channel, you know, he is so consistent. Every morning he's making a video. And his, you know, he's a musical artist himself, and his knowledge of music, and it's not acquired knowledge, like, you know, you just, you know, learn about different things. It's knowledge he's obtained because he knows the musicians. He knows these people in the music industry. So he can add this perspective, and his musical taste is very eclectic, and aligns and very much with me in many ways. And actually several albums that he's shown that have really sparked my interest, and I went out and got them. But this one in particular, he talked about, it was maybe a year ago. And this is Code of Honor and Beware the Savage Jaw. San Francisco post-punk band, kind of hardcore, and really, really good. So I learned about that from Derek Higgins. So yeah, thank you, and a shout out to Derek Higgins. And if you don't know about Derek Higgins, you need to change that. So yeah, these are the shout outs, I guess, that I want to make for these recommendations of music that I've learned from people in the vinyl community. I mean, That's what we do. We talk about records that we find and that we like, and then we learn from each other. Different artists, different genres. It's just expanding our own repertoire of what we listen to. Because there are some channels that are kind of ruts. They really don't show anything beyond certain artists and genres. They're not very exploratory. But these that I have mentioned, and there are plenty of others too, offer a wide variety of music that you can learn about, and maybe you'll find the records too. So I hope you enjoy that. Leave a comment in the down under. I do like getting the comments, really like that. Thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up, please. It really helps with the distribution of the video content. With anyone who has a YouTube channel, hitting that thumbs up really helps them out. Even if you're already subscribed, hitting the thumbs up really, really helps. Appreciate that. You can also follow me on Instagram, where I go by the handle of NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. And also on Facebook, I have a page there called Kelvin Wazoo, where I post not only these videos, but other videos that I find in music-related articles and content. And hey, as always, remember to pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.